Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. Wherever you are in the world joining us, thank you. Thank you so much for your support as we continue to grow our following. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network. And our show today is presenting pet psychic AMINAH, and I will be presenting her very soon, as she is not backstage yet. While we wait, I wanted to share a couple of things with you. We are excited to announce we now have a loyalty program. That's right, a loyalty program we are rolling out for our team members as well as for our guests and our followers. So please do stay tuned for more information about that. We also have our reunion show, which is coming up, and this is open to anyone who's been a guest before on our show. It's 6 hours of live streaming, and you get 15 minutes to pitch anything you want, promote anything you want about yourself, your business, your brand, your book, your life, your film, your screenplay. It doesn't matter, your song. So please do go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com, and book in. Space is limited. And finally, we also have a film and music event coming October 23rd. This is for anyone in the film and music industry. You do not have to appear on our platform yet. We would love to welcome you for the first time at this event. So regardless of what you're doing in the film and music industry, you are welcome to book in for 15 minutes to promote your work. So I am going to take us to a short commercial break, and I'm going to reach out to Pet Psychic AMINAH and our guest today, and we will be back shortly. Thank you.
Take a moment.
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 So I've had the privilege of photographing some incredible people over the years, and during each shoot I've asked the subject to close their eyes and take themselves to a peaceful place just for a few seconds. I've found that this really helps to refresh the energy between the camera and the subject. They had an energy that was quite special and quite different from the rest of the shoot. The collection grew, and now it feels the right time to use it for something good. I think it'd be amazing if we could help to raise awareness and involve people in the discussion about mental health. So what we're asking to do is for everyone to upload their own self-portraits. All of these portraits will become part of a massive artwork. I'm really excited to see this project go from hundreds of pictures to thousands of pictures. Essentially, an ever-evolving artwork that says we're all in this together.
Close your eyes and take a moment.
Kapayapaan, kapayapaan, kapayapaan.
Diane Floyd Bames' A Song of Peace tells the story of a young lad named Tommy whose fervent wish for peace on earth touches the hearts of his friends and family, spreads to his community, and eventually unites the whole world around making his dream of peace a reality for everyone. Sit down with the children in your life and share Tommy's amazing story of love and hope. Sing your own song of peace and invite the children to join you. Tommy's tale is more than just a story. It's a movement, and everyone's warmly welcome to take part.
Kapayapaan, 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 kapayapaan.
You'll find a song of peace along with many other wonderful learning and enriching opportunities for children of all ages at dianefloydbame.com.
Welcome back. We're so excited to have you here at USA Global TV and Radio. Let the show begin. I now, abracadabra, present Pet Psychic AMINAH.
You're magical.
Nice to see you. Happy Friday.
You too. You just have the most amazing week. I get to clip in on your shows, and the recordings are amazing. If anybody hasn't tried it, Drive earbuds, they all work. It's wonderful to watch you, but at least getting to listen is a wonderful. And I don't know about you, but I was a little bit young for live radio, you know, when they did stories and the night of somebody and the dark somebody, and I don't even remember their names, but you beat them all, because not only are they, what you're doing is entertaining, but highly informative. So many things I'm like, oh, I still don't know anything, do I?
I appreciate that. You know, AMINAH, I feel the same way. I am just speechless. Every show, I think, wow, I've got to write that down. I've got to write that down. So that's what we're all about.
How many tablets do you have now?
Please, I need a filing cabinet just for the tablets.
Well, yeah, and then a cabinet for the cabinet.
Exactly. It just starts to multiply over and over again. But I'm glad to see you. How have you been since last week?
Absolutely great. I mean, it's California. Guess what the weather is?
Sunny and nice.
Yeah. And I can see the beach over there, and I go down the desert over there, and I go to the trees over there.
Fabulous. It's wonderful.
I'm very, very blessed. The state of California has pretty much all the topographies or within driving. And, you know, people need to get out and really enjoy that, because what else am I talking about is coexisting. And I'm very, very flattered to have been asked a couple of places to, and I'm like, yeah, it just really came out with your platform of just constantly saying that and saying, you know, we can do better. We are doing better. Let's work on that, and making people understand that spiders are necessary. If you don't like mosquitoes, keep the spiders, because they'll eat them for you.
Exactly. Well, you know, it's interesting because everything has a reason, everything has a place. And so for people tuning in, they might think, oh, I thought this was the Pet Psychic Show. Well, we talk about any number of things. And today also we have a brand new subject for this show, which is exciting. So you can tell a lot by someone's face. You can tell a lot by their facial expressions. And some people are really good. Some people are experts at reading people's faces. And how can we take this information and incorporate it into our personal and professional relationships? So I'd love if you would give us a little bit of background about our guest, Julie, and how you met her.
Well, like most of my encounters, they're very organic. Julie and I met at a class, I believe, and signed up for that thing. Oh, I'd love to learn that. And Julie's just like that. We're curious and we're interested and we want to hear some other voice than the ones we have or the ones we're around, and we know so much. Every time I've gotten a chance to just socialize and talk to her or listen to her work, it's just like, oh, I hadn't thought about it that way. I hadn't looked at it that way. And she's so excited about sharing that, but not, how do you put it? Not being pushy, not saying this is the only way to think. I really love having guests that understand they are part of the answer, but we don't have all the answers. Each person's an individual, and we have the ability to flip and change and grow every day. I don't care how old you are or how young you are, you can change and grow, and you can look at everything in a different light. And that's what we're bringing on, is another voice to say, have you thought about it from this angle? And she really brings that with her work also.
Fantastic. Well, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Julie Parker to the show. She's an expert in face reading, and she's going to tell us exactly what that is and how there can be applications if you're looking to meet that right person in that dating world. Let's bring her out. Hi, Julie.
Hi,
Hello,
Julie.
ladies. Nice to see you.
Yes,
Nice to see
absolutely.
you. Where are you joining us from today?
I am joining from Houston, Texas.
So many wonderful friends in Texas. I love it. The great state of Texas, Houston and Austin. So thank you for being here. And many people are like, what are they talking about? Face reading, face whispering, face. What is it? So tell us more.
Absolutely. So face reading is the interpretation of people's facial features. So everything from like your eyes, your eyebrows, your lips, your nose, your hairline, it all means something and reveals important, helpful, and interesting information about our behaviors and personalities. So I'm the interpreter. I look at someone's face and tell them either about themselves, or if they're, like you mentioned earlier, if they're interested in a dating match or have a current partner and they want to know more about them, how to relate with and to them better, we do a compatibility reading, or just reveal information about that person so they know how to get along with them better, how to speak their language, and have a more flowing relationship with them.
This is super exciting. I'm wondering, just to put you on the spot, can you do any reading for me and Amina and see anything about
Okay, you're a teeny tiny little bit. Potentially.
Well, I'm just kidding. We can do that some other time. But
Sure.
So what is it that got you interested in this field?
So I'm going to make a long story really short. I was working as an analyst in the oil and gas industry contract, and it was a great career, great job. And I felt like there was something screaming at me to do something else. So I love all things food and psychology and healing. And I thought I was going to become a nutritional coach. So I joined a course, and there were other people in the group as well. We had a Facebook group that we chit-chatted in. And one of the gals introduced me to something that was, she introduced me to an author's website that talked about face reading. And I thought, well, that's kind of intriguing. So I went to the website and I checked it out, and I thought, ooh, I think I need to schedule one of these. So I scheduled one, and holy moly, it was amazing. So often many of us are on paths or journeys to find out why certain things are happening in our lives, why we are the way we are, and really kind of feeling maybe unfulfilled or feeling like there's got to be looking for answers. And I was one of those people. So I scheduled the reading, had the session with this woman, and oh my God, the stuff that came out was just, it was crazy. It was like magical in some ways. And I said, from all the therapy that I had gone to, workshops I had taken, this answered in an hour questions I'd had for decades. And often many of us are very judgmental and critical of ourselves. And this really shed bright light on things that I was criticizing myself for that were actually positive. And she told me why. So that in itself was amazing. So I asked her, I was like, I gotta learn how to do this. Do you teach how to do this? This is fascinating. So she said, definitely. She had 2 workshops coming up. I went to both of them and I was just hooked. So I left my corporate job and started doing readings.
Yay, how liberating is that? Good
Right?
for you.
Thank
So
you.
a question I have, then we'll go over to Amina.
Mm.
In order to do the face reading, do you have to have what I'm going to call it a blank canvas? So no makeup, no Botox, no fillers, no like.
Really good questions. Okay, so makeup is not really an issue. However, if there are scars that are being covered up, because scars mean something to the size, the shape, the location, and when they happened, Botox does have an impact. And also, one of the first things I ask people in a reading of themselves is, have you done anything to your eyebrows? Have you changed your hair in any way? Or has there been any either accidents or cosmetic surgery? Well, cosmetic or elective surgery that had changed your face in any way. So that does impact the reading. So, and I usually prefer, especially when someone's sending a photo, I prefer good lighting. And I always ask that there not be either regular glasses or sunglasses or hats, and that people look straight forward so I can see the whole face. Because if something's hidden, I can't see it. I can't share. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So sorry, Amina, just one follow-up question from that. So are you basing the reading on what the person looked like? Let me see how to phrase this. So if something's been done to alter their face, are you looking for what the face looked like from before that happened? That's the image that you need.
Well, not necessarily. However, like if someone has done Botox, I can usually sort of get an idea. It depends on where it was. But for instance, if someone has a facelift, they're getting rid of wrinkles. There's a book that I hope it's okay to share this. There's a book called Wrinkles Are God's Makeup. And wrinkles make up wisdom gained in a certain decade of our face. So if we lose the wisdom, we lose the wrinkles, we lose the wisdom.
Interesting.
That's a sign we need to make. You know, like, on the back of the chair, because at some point there's only so much facelifting, literally, you can do surgically and or metaphorically. That you have to accept that this is a good thing because you earned it, whatever that is.
Right?
You know, we earned it. We earned every gray string of hair or, you know, wrinkle on our forehead. It can be really cathartic to say, you know what? How many, you know, so many people study books and do the whole squinting thing down and, you know, the wrinkles come a little faster. But if you're a bioscientist or a wonderful author or whatever, maybe those are your badges of honor instead of needing cosmetic surgery. It's perspective, don't you think?
Exactly.
And that's what you're giving. I see that's what you're giving is that cheering squad of saying, you know, is it really bad or good? But you still get to decide.
Exactly. And there are different points of each feature. So like if there's a wrinkle in a certain wrinkle in a person's face, it can mean different things as well. So
all right.
Can you give me an example? Like one here or one, I mean, just something to clarify, you know, because everybody's different. I get that.
So absolutely. So the one thing that comes to mind specifically is when you see someone that's got the, you know, the line right here, the vertical line right here, people often think, oh, they're either focusing or they're squinting or whatever. That can also, that can definitely indicate that someone's been thinking or concentrating really hard on something or maybe vision impairment or something. It can also mean one parent had anger issues.
Interesting.
Wow. That is interesting.
Okay, where's the book? I get to read about that. Because it's fascinating. Look at the parallel differences of what you just said and opening up yourself to it's time to do some research and look into, you know, it's not me, myself, and I'm a terrible person, horrible, and I look ugly and all this stuff. No, there's usually cause.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
All right, I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in this. So here's my question, and I've shared this. I've been getting Botox and fillers for decades, but I have a clean palate right now. As you can tell by my number 11, I haven't gone in over a year and 2 months, I think. However, we're talking about dating. Now, when you're getting yourself ready to meet somebody, you don't want to go out with a newspaper full of headlines, right? Over there. So, I don't know. Do we do the reading and then start looking for somebody?
I suggest people do. I mean, I never know what part in the journey that someone is going to be in when they come to me. So it doesn't matter where they are in the journey. They can have already started a profile, started dating, or they can just be thinking about it and getting ready to do so. It really doesn't matter. But a couple of the preface things that I do first are I really like to help people get clear about what it is they're looking for in a partner and partnership. So we have like an assessment first that we do, which kind of helps me know what to look for later when they send photos of people they're interested in dating. I know. So if they say they have a low libido and they want someone with a low libido and they bring me a picture of someone who's got a really strong one, I'll say, look, be aware of this. This could be a problem. Or if they want somebody who's open emotionally and this person is a person they've shared a picture with is closed, they want to know that. In addition, I like to do a reading for my clients up front, so they understand what can be seen in a person's face, experience it. And they're really, they're magical experiences, these face reading sessions. People really get deep information about themselves and what could be out of balance within themselves, since it's based on the 5 elements of Chinese medicine. So it's really enlightening, and like self-permission comes up. Just a lot of really magical things come up. I used to say make people cry because it was just so relieving and very healing in many ways. But it's really good for them to experience it first so they trust it and know that, okay, by a picture, I can really get information about somebody, like really good information about a potential or current match that they're dating or they're interested in.
Great information. And it sounds like from what we were talking about in the beginning, it's about that curiosity. It's about learning more about ourselves. And this is something that probably most people haven't thought of and haven't had done.
Very true.
Yeah.
It's
well,
amazing.
And when we look ourselves in the mirror, what I see is you're teaching us what to see back. Instead of the judgment, instead of the wrinkles, instead of the flaws, instead of the scar that you got at 12 or whatever internally or externally, we all look in the mirror and decide, I am this or I am that, but what could you be? What are you open to? And you're opening that door, which I think is so vital because so many people think the door doesn't exist.
Well, and
I love what you said.
Go ahead.
No, I love what you said with the comparison that we judge partners to that could be or might be. Both of us, you're either too good for them or you're not good enough or whatever in between. That's really important door for somebody who has no buy in it. You have no buy-in as if you date that person or not, and just a neutral voice. That's amazing.
That's true. And our experience in life is how we experience ourselves.
Yes.
So if we have negative thoughts about ourselves or we have low self-worth, that's gonna, that's how we experience life from that.
Right.
Exactly. Julie, while I have you up on Spotlight, I'm thinking to myself, having worked in corporate for decades, what you do could be really pivotal for human resources for onboarding people as well to determine, could they be a good fit for the organization? What are your thoughts?
Well, I agree. And I have done some of that as well. Actually, I had somebody recently reach out. They were looking for a C-suite executive for their business and sent me the picture. And I was like, okay, here we go. So I think it was like it was just a quick list. And it was, by the next day, I sent it by email and I said, here's what you're going to get. Let me know if you have any questions. So it was like a list of 42 different things that I saw on that person's face. And they also had a personality profile done on them and they matched. I felt like my list was a little bit longer. I didn't see what they got from the personality profile, which is also super helpful. But this goes much deeper and also helps you understand how to communicate with them in a way they can hear you and understand you, what's important to them. And just, really, really helpful. And I spoke to them recently and I was like, how's it going? And they said, working it really well. So definitely. And you want to know, way back in the beginning when this was first discovered, Taoist monks were the original healers back in China 3,000 years ago. But because of traditions and cultures, they couldn't touch women. So they learned how to diagnose. Don't ask me how they figured this out, but they figured out how to look at someone's face and tell if there's some kind of an ailment going on and how to handle that. But they also discovered personality attributes on someone's face by looking at their features. So the emperors called them in when they wanted to hire somebody because they wanted to make sure they had the right skill set, that they could trust them and they would get along with the other members of the team.
Fascinating. It seems to me that there are so many possibilities and opportunities for you in this particular industry. And I'm also wondering if you, from your reading, detect something that could be worked on, let's say, something that maybe is going to stand out as a low vibration or low energy. Is it possible for us to change that? Obviously, we can't change scars unless we get them removed or something. But if we have certain mannerisms in our face and the way we move, can we change that so that we have more to offer to an organization or a person?
Okay, so that's a really good question. That's a two-part answer. So for one, when I first learned how to do this, I was told that one of the stories of another person who went to learn how to do face reading. She asked if she could change her smile because she had, it's like the emojis, you know, she had a downward smile. She was unhappy about certain things. And what comes up, the lighter things like wrinkles or like a downward turned smile, it's happening because of thoughts that we're thinking or energies that we're holding in our emotions. So this lady was told to just consciously hold hold a smile on her face more often, like throughout the week while she was at this training. And sure enough, her face, her muscles, and the collagen and elasticity in her cheeks and her mouth, you know, the muscle memory created that. So she had when she came back home, her kids were like, something looks different in your face. What's going on? And then in addition, you were asking about scars. Now, there was a lady, one of my friends had, when I told her that I learned how to do this, she goes, "Oh, read my son." So she's like, "What about scars?" So she sent a photo, and her son had a scar on his forehead. There's a map on the face, like an age map. So I looked what age that scar hit on his face. And what I do is ask what age the scar or the incident took place, which indicates something that happened, you know, emotionally with the child then. So, and it landed in the area of the father. So there was something going on with he and his father at that time. And apparently it was like a basketball accident or something like that. He was hit by a basketball and a scar landed on his forehead. But it landed on age, I think it was 24. So what happens is at the age of 24, something will come back into that person's life to deal with the issues that caused the scar to take place way back when, and to revisit that. So one of two things can happen. If they address it and process through it, the scar can either go away completely or minimize to the point where it's almost not visible. Or if they don't do anything about it, the scar will stay. That's from my research and from what I've been told. Interesting, huh?
It's really interesting.
And so much healthier than cosmetic surgery, because you're going to get scars from all types of surgery. It's just not possible to have the word surgery and no scar. In this way, you're doing truly a much more holistic approach. At least that's my take on it. There's not drugs. It's mind over matter, in keeping it as just a really simplistic title, because it's so much deeper than those two words. Right. Because your mind really does matter on how you go through the world.
Very true. And so it's mind over matter. It's more comfortable and it's less expensive too. And less time for healing. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Julie, I'm wondering, you mentioned that you can work with a photograph if the person's looking directly and they don't have the hat and the glasses and whatnot. Is there an opportunity to engage with you more than once? So in other words, you do the initial, yes, tell us about that.
So there are different types of readings. Someone can have just a reading of themselves. They can have a reading of a child or someone else in their life, a significant other or a potential match, or someone they're working with to make sure that they're, that they have a fluid or harmonious interaction. So people can either have one reading or they can have several. They can, if there's like a situation going on in their life and they'd like some clarity or help getting balance or dealing with it, we can have other readings for that, within that perspective.
And you can work with people all over the world?
Doesn't matter where, as long as there's the internet and a photo, I'm good. I mean, I prefer to do it in person, but with things going on, Zoom is amazing. So
it is.
Video calls always really,
I have a question, Dr. Jacalyn. Sorry for interrupting, but I know I'll forget. Do you work with parent and children? Because I've got a couple of clients that, just really struggle in that area. And what it sounds like is this might, because you're talking about bosses and hiring and all that, and it's the same challenges, just different modality. One's doing paperwork for you and the other one's throwing food on the floor. So,
Right.
so I wonder, this seems like a really good fit for those
Yeah.
parent challenges that we have with our kids.
Can I just tell you, I wish I had known about it when my son was younger.
Yes.
Because I'll share one story with you if that's okay. So he was probably 12 or 13 years old, and I had given him a list of things to do. I was like, take out the garbage, fold your laundry, get your homework done, and take the trash out or whatever. So a little while later he comes in. I said, so what'd you get done? He said, well, I took the trash out. And I was like, what about these other things? And I spewed a bunch of stuff at him, and he stormed off into his room. I'm like, you're punished. And it escalated in this big thing that wasn't necessary. What I didn't realize at the time was that he's the type of person that needs things given to him spoon-fed, like one at a time, step by step, not all at once. Now, had I known that, it would have saved us both a bunch of grief,
right,
and tension and stress and aggravation. So, now it's like, okay, one thing at a time. Super, super helpful.
Right.
I can see you working, whether it's on your own or with therapists, to help couples understand how to read each other. So not just in the dating scenario, but you're already in a relationship and people are always missing the signals that people are giving. You can tell by looking at their face. You think that they're angry. Meanwhile, maybe they're afraid.
That, and in addition, the way I used to describe it is that, punishing the spouse unnecessarily or unknowingly because you didn't understand how they either get information or how they need information delivered to them or what their take is on it. Oftentimes I remember in previous relationships, I used to think that they were either trying to get even or just being lazy when I'd ask them to do something or I wanted to have a conversation. But the way that you present information to a person, and if you do it in such a way that they can actually hear you and at the right time, and like if you have a really spiritual person, you don't want to be chatty Cathy or a lot of humor because they're not open to that. They don't process information that way, and that's annoying to them. Or superficial conversations, forget it. So if you can speak slowly and in a manner that they can receive the information where they're not so put off by it, they're more willing to hear what you have to say and have the conversation with you.
Right.
Absolutely, all positives for the work that you're doing. I love it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So I have a question if we have time, Dr. Jacalyn, or you let me know if we need to go to a commercial. What do you suggest, with the family dynamics of, you get the I'm right, you're wrong, just do it this way, just do it my way, and all of that you're hitting on the communication. Is it ever too late? If say you have, a 50-year-old child, that means you're 60 or 7 and you're gone, well, this is a lost cause. But I don't ever think anything, working with animals, they're never a lost cause. It's about, as you said, it's training the trainer, the person talking to train a different way or communicate a different way. So I do that every day with what animals. So can you come in 20 years later? Can you come in 30 years later when those hardships and those wounds have been created by that miscommunication because they come up to you and say, just do it. And you're like, do what? So I'd love to hear, can this be healed long-term?
So it can. And that's a really good question. I'm glad you brought that up. So one thing is it's good to, when people are open to learning a different way of approaching a situation, especially with someone who's really important in their lives, that takes a lot of courage, and, it's something to be commended. So learning what it takes to get along better with that person or to give information to that person so they can hear you is what I said before. But in addition, it takes time, and that person's not going to trust because you do it one time. So it's going to take time and patience to learn it, to apply it. And then for the person to really trust that, okay, you're legitimate and I can trust you. And this is actually real versus, oh, you're just trying something, something else that they're trying or whatever. No credibility there, but it takes a while to build the credibility. And, it's like they talk about in when there's dysfunction in a family, like with a mobile, when you take one person away from the mobile or one piece off the mobile, everyone else has to change. So it changes the whole dynamic to a degree.
Right.
If that makes sense.
And it takes time, I would assume, because
Yes.
I know when I'm talking to somebody about changing their behavior with their animals and getting their animals to come, animals are really quick to just go, okay, we're doing it, do. They let go of things. People, not so much. I've seen wounds go on for years and years and years. And then all of a sudden they're in their 50s, the kids, the parents are older, and the kids have this epiphany, or they go through something like you're talking about, and they get the help. They get that counseling that they need to make a change to approach their parent, aunt, uncle, whatever, differently, their sibling. I don't think there's ever, because in my world, in animals, it's never too late. It's never. But animals let go of things easier than people do.
Yeah, that's true.
They're very
people have memory.
You on their toe a minute ago, and you said, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and they're over it by the time you're crying. You're like, "Get over it. It's a toe. I'll heal."
Yeah, it takes commitment, it takes practice, and it just takes patience. But yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I remember years ago, could have been decades ago, there was a television program, and it was all about reading people's facial expressions and also body language to tell if they were lying. Do you remember this show?
Yes, Lie to Me. I love that show.
Yes, yes.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. Amazing show. And that's called micro expressions. Very different and not something that I do, but fascinating. And that's just when someone has a muscle twitch or does something, or like maybe they touch their nose, or like they have a little twitch there or something when they're answering a question. You've got to be like really like spot on. You have to have it like recorded and watch it over and over again to do that. That's completely different. I'm actually looking at people's facial features as they are at a resting face. Resting expression. Yeah.
Very good.
Got it. Thank you.
Dr. JACALYN, are you as tempted as I am to have her tell us what we look like?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh man,
I'm always
curious. Live on the camera, so it's documented for everybody.
Well, Julie, I'll ask you this. So you've had your face read. Anything you want to share with us about what you learned about yourself?
It was such a validation. I was like, oh, wow. In some ways I was like, yeah, okay. And other ways I was like, oh, that's a positive thing. This is a good thing. So I tend to stay in situations longer than I should, and things need to be hard when they don't need to be. So that's one thing that I was kind of disappointed to hear, but grateful to know that it's a choice. And now that I'm aware of it, I can change it. And in addition, I tend to overgive, or I used to overgive and like smother people. And it was embarrassing when I heard it. I was like, oh, ooh. But now knowing more about my son and how to engage with him better, I realized I was coming across to him in a way that was smothering, and I was embarrassed to hear that. But I thought, okay, good to know. So now I can change how I respond to him, and not to smother him and not to give what won't be received. So, he didn't want to be mothered anymore. I mean, he's now in his 30s. He wants someone to be proud of him. So now I just get to love him and love loving him and support him. If he asks for something, then I can participate. If not, But other things like refinement is very important to me. This is really fun. A little bit embarrassing, but fun. So there's like the element of metal, and I have a bunch of that, which means like there's like a not really a royalty, but like a refinement. Refinement is very important to me. Quality is very important to me. So not only in things that I do, but when other people see me, and I'll tell you 2 stories, almost embarrassing to share, but anyway, funny. People see that, and it's like they want to serve me, or they will speak to me in a different way, or respond to me differently. And one of the last companies I worked for in oil and gas, there was a lineman, and he was a little bit older and much more senior than I. And I went to the elevator to leave one night or one afternoon, and he saw me coming. So he saw the elevator open. So he held the door open, and he looked at me, and he did this little court gesture thing to me. And I was like, what are you doing? It's like, after you. And I was like, what is this? And then a family member of mine, by marriage, calls me Miss Julie. It's like, the queen has come in. I was like, and I'm like, what are you doing? Just call me Julie. It refers to me as Miss Julie. And I was like, what is going on here? But that's that sense of, I guess it's like I don't know if it's sophistication, or people sense that about me. And it was interesting. I realized, and in the reading, she said, so what you can do instead, and what I learned how to do now is with other people that have this, we can come across as cold. So make an extra effort to extend warmth to people, so they feel more like that I can be more approached, or they can approach me with more ease. So super, super important, really helpful and fascinating.
Thank you so much for your transparency and sharing that with us. I love it. And I
You're
also
welcome.
really appreciate the fact that you received the information and had an initial reaction, but then said, hey, you know what? Let me look into this. Let me embrace it and see what comes up for me.
Yeah, exactly. Why
And
fight
how
it, right?
important in personal life, in business life, and just if that man was a stranger and you wonder why people have that reaction to you, it is so important to have that information to go, you can own it and be that way the
Yeah.
rest of your life,
Yeah.
or you can make a change.
Exactly.
And powers with knowledge. That's what
Right?
Dr. Jacalyn's whole platform is about, at least on my half of watching yours, is just if you know, you get to make a choice.
Exactly.
Choose whatever path
Right.
you want, but have the knowledge to do so.
Exactly. So you can make a decision either way, what works for you and what doesn't.
Right, right.
Julie,
Love it.
something that's coming up for me right now is that throughout my life, strangers, people I hardly know, or people I know really well, open up to me and tell me things that they don't tell other people. And I'll be in scenarios and someone will say, I've known her for how long? And she just told you because I watched her tell you. What is that about? I don't know. Do I have the kind of face that you could tell
You
me
do.
anything? I do.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and do you want me to tell you, it's in your nose.
Okay.
And oftentimes people that have this feature will say, or this shape of feature, it's the tip of your nose, tend to be round. So that means either you will have the juice and the scoop and the gossip on people by choice, or people will tell you information. They'll often say, I've never shared it with anybody before. They feel comfortable telling you things that confidentially that they've never shared with other people.
I'm telling you, I get that all the time. People tell me things. And of course, I put it in a lockdown. I'm not into gossip. And of course, I'm behind this green screen for 2 years now. But I just got invited to an actual party and I was like, what? Go with people actually in person? No. But so anyway, so that's what it is. It's the nose. Okay. So
And can I share another thing with you real quick?
yes.
Okay, so you're also talking about confidential information. So your bottom lip is fuller than your top lip.
Mhm.
And that has to do with the enjoyment of being pampered and being really good with confidential information.
There you have it.
Yay.
Thank you.
You're
Do
welcome.
you give out seals? You know that she can put on her little screen there. I have the seal of blah blah blah. We'll give you some great title. The queen of the table said she has, because I mean that's pretty powerful, Dr. Jacalyn, and you got
Yeah.
it on tape. So
There
Right?
it is. It's out there. Thank you for that. I
That's
appreciate it.
amazing.
You
That's
are so
amazing.
welcome.
That's amazing.
Julie, we are coming to the end of our show, which I hate, but I want to stay on for a few more minutes. And there's so many ways that you can help people. I mean, it's just going through my head. I can't stop thinking, like, oh, she could do this, she could do that, work with the police department. I mean, so many different things that
People
you can
do.
do, but you have to hone it in, right? We all have to say, okay, I can't be everything to everyone. Who
Exactly.
is your ideal client?
Right now I'm focusing on single women who are looking for love either in the online space or in apps or just in general, so that who are looking to find the love of their life. Because oftentimes we meet people and they'll, like, especially online or in dating apps, the dating matches will, it's like an interview, just like a job interview. We're interviewing life partners, and people will give inflated information or incorrect information. They might change their photos. So really helping women not waste time with the wrong people and avoid potential heartache and drama. I can't tell you how many people have come to me and said with the stories that they've come to me with. It's crazy. But you can really get the inside scoop on a person without even having a conversation with them, just by looking at their picture. So I'm on a mission to help single women find the love of their life without the chaos, and do it faster and more efficiently and have fun doing it. And face reading is just a huge tool for that. It's unique and it's powerful, and it's crazy how it works.
Julie, you are going to have a new client when I get back out there into the market, because I have stories that would make your hair stand on end and then
Ooh,
start
let's
curling. Amazing. Now,
Tell us when you go on channel so we can all tune in, because all the girls listening right now is like, wow, what date are you doing that? Because
Right?
that's better than Ann Landers, and we all know who Ann Landers
some
is.
of the stories I have been told, unbelievable, but I digress. Let's talk about those profile pictures on the dating sites. Come on. The pictures of a fish. What do I want to date the fish? Come on. I don't even understand this. Or we've got a hat on that's, covering
Yeah.
your face. And we just see your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
another show. Sorry.
can I just share with you? Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. We can talk for days about that. So in online profiles, the pictures themselves, that's the first thing that we or they see about each other, right? So it's like your business card or whatever. And that's the first thing that causes people to either want to interact with you or to reach out to you. So the photos themselves can either attract or repel the right people or the wrong people. So those should be done, in a good manner and have quality photos and the right types of photos.
You know what? I would love to do it, but we're not sponsors with people. We don't have sponsors from the dating community. I'd love to go onto some of these websites right now and bring up the profile pictures, but I'm sure we get sued by a lot of people, so we're not going to do that.
Well, and you could be like the movie people who go and rate him, whatever those guys' names are, and you can be the movie dating rater, and
Ooh,
Julie
fun.
says, da, da, da,
Right?
you're a star 1, you're a -3, you're a
Now,
2.
Julie, a question I have for you is, and again, I haven't dated anyone in at least 2+ years, but when I was on those sites, sometimes people will put pictures that are very old. So if you have a client and they're interested in this person, you see the picture, forget it.
No, not necessarily. I would definitely ask for a more current picture or a picture of like today. So you can ask them. Go ahead.
Sorry, if the newer picture and the original picture, there's something that's amiss, then that's a red flag, right?
Yes. I mean, some of the questions that you ask people, I mean, in my program, I go through a bunch of stuff, but just in asking questions of people, the answers, I mean, you're asking the questions to get information up front, but also they're strategic questions, and how they answer and what they say gives you even more information. So if they give you the same type of picture, or if it looks completely different, you're getting good information regardless. So you can make an educated decision whether that person's right for you or not, or if it's a red flag, what direction to go in with that.
Fascinating.
And I would love for you to speak on, before we let you go, is the worst thing I know I experience is, because we're on social media. Dr. Jacalyn, I am sure you get this too, that, the comment of, oh, I just had to reach out. So sorry to invade, blah, 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 your privacy and whatever. But I just had to reach out because your picture is just so beautiful and you're so wonderful. And I'm thinking, throw up now, because it's so ingenuous. It's like, tell me you read my bio and you want to know more about dogs or cats. Find somebody.
Right.
It's not about my face. And women who are worth their weight in a grocery bag, if something light, want more than I'm a pretty face, because you don't want just a pretty face. Otherwise you're not got much going. I mean, my daughter thinks it's a waste of time that I actually reply and say, yeah, no. That depends on how they've written it and what vibes because I can read through it. And I'm like, no, that's not going to work. Oh, but no. And then I block you, because if you can't hear what I said the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't ask me anything of substance. You didn't approach me as a person of interest. You didn't go into my bio, because I have plenty of Facebook, LinkedIn stuff where you could see what I'm interested in. But you didn't ask me about that. You just thought, oh, you're so pretty. Yeah, then you don't know me very well, because that just doesn't matter. It's my passion for my work. It's blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Jacalyn, I would think the same thing. If they came to you and said, I've really enjoyed your show, and they came to you as a neutral, let's get to know each other, that might be different. But they don't. Not the right ones.
Right.
You can tell genuine from not genuine.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes. And if you're going to tell me the first thing is my face is pretty, and like, yeah, there's the door. Don't let it hit you.
You heard it first here, friends. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's the wrong person. I don't care. Yes, I wash my hair. Woohoo for me.
Right.
Julie, what would you like our audience to take away from this show today?
Right.
Oh my gosh, just one thing. To realize that, we're born with certain hobbies, certain things that we're naturally good at. And oftentimes, either due to a caregiver or a parent, we push those things aside because it's not acceptable to them. So face reading really helps to hone back in on that, to give yourself permission to allow that to be. And our faces, it's just amazing. It's like a map of who we are. So really honoring yourself and who you are, where you are, and that you're a valuable person.
There you go.
Thank you.
A valuable person, that they matter.
You matter. You have worth.
Exactly.
And that's really where it starts, because when we know that we matter, not that we are everything, but that we matter, then we'll pick healthier foods, healthier friends, and maybe hug a little pet once in a while.
Right?
They're not for everybody, but you can be kind to nature and the world, wherever you're from.
Yeah.
Julie, this might be off topic, but it just popped into my head. Is it possible to do face reading of animals?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I just tell you that freaks me out because I'm a perfectionist by nature. So, and I haven't really done many pets. So it can be done. And I know some people who do them. I'm not as comfortable. Although I will say with my grandpuppy, I just can, because I'm empathetic and intuitive too. I'm not a psychic or fortune teller or anything like that. I can't predict the future, but he doesn't really bark a whole lot. So I can look at his face and know exactly what he's talking about.
And Julie, you know why?
Why?
It's because you're completely open and committed to, and so is your animal, to you. So
and
all
he knows
those
he's got me wrapped around his little paw.
Yeah,
too.
all those, and they know it. And all those cues matter to you. So if you start with I care about you, then you're going to notice in a person and an animal and nature that you can coexist. Honeybees don't want to bite you, sting you technically, because they'll die.
Good to know.
Because they'll die. But
okay.
If we don't even acknowledge that they have the ability to exist, or spiders have the right to exist, then we're coming at it with the wrong energy, and it's our fault that we're not reading. Because you can. Everybody can. And I'm thrilled that you're reinforcing that. Everybody can.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Julie, for being such a wonderful guest. You're welcome to come on this or any of our other 27 shows that we have a week.
Oh my gosh, thank you. It's always such a pleasure. I love the conversation we have together. I love both of your energy, and it's just always such a fun experience. So thank you for having me. And I would love to come back.
Thank you. Yes, please do. And Julie, for people who can't read the banner or they're listening to the program on the radio, what's the best way to reach out to you, and who would you like to contact you?
The best way to contact me would be either by email, hello@clearlycompatible.com, or go to my website, clearlycompatible.com. And at this point, single women who are looking to find their ideal match, who are struggling with the whole concept, who are either scared or have been through awful experiences or are afraid or just don't know how to get started, reach out to me, because it can be such a much more pleasurable and easier, more effective experience.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And can we find you, or where can we find you on social media? So
social media, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, that's it for right now.
You're on TikTok. I give you a lot of credit for that. That one I haven't mastered yet.
Right?
Exactly.
Oh, and Facebook Reels. Yeah.
Under your name?
Under Clearly Compatible.
Clearly Compatible. Okay.
Yes.
There we have it. Well, thank you, Julie Parker. I've really enjoyed meeting you, and I wish you continued success, and I hope we see you again.
I hope so too. It's been great to talk with you, and thank you again for having me.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Amina, thanks so much for bringing Julie to the platform.
Yeah, I'm writing and trying to talk at the same time, but I don't know how to do it. Clearly compatible. Let's all remember that. Clearly compatible. It's the right words with the right person. And it's too bad there's not 500 of us, 500 of you and me and her. And we're, because we're putting out free and great content and important things to make your life move forward. And that's why I love being on your show. And that's what Julie's saying, the same thing. Because we're all doing hard work. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, because every time, even though I know Julie and I've I've known her for a couple of years, but we live in different parts of the state. It's amazing every time to hear how many shows I loved just clicking on you everywhere I'm at and listening to your guests, but also listening to what you're putting forward. There's so much good in the world, and this is a really great place to start.
Thank you, Amina. I appreciate that.
And
How
I mean
can
it
people?
sincerely. I promise. Nobody's paying me. Nobody's paying me.
No. Listen, I feel your energy, and I know it. This is show number, what is it? Let me see, 78 that we
8. There you go.
78 I have that we've been doing together. So I
amazing.
Just love the connection we have. And for those who don't know, we met on LinkedIn. So I encourage people to go over to LinkedIn and connect, read people's bios, and see how you can collaborate and work together on things.
And it's amazing because I have so many people that I follow and they follow me, and we just swap information, and we just love reading about where they're going or whatever. And I never meet them, but I'm learning so much. Yes. And that's what those and people are like, well, why aren't you on this one, this one, this one? I said, no, I decided long ago, I'm doing 3. There's it. I'm doing 3. And I needed to find that 3. So do the work, do your due diligence. Just because it works for me or works for Dr. JACALYN or works for anybody else, it might not work for you. And that's okay. And you can start with one. You don't have to, don't let anybody pressure you and say, oh, you're not going to be successful in your business, in your life, or dating, or whatever it is, if you're not on all these platforms. Well, no, then you're just lukewarm water spread out all over the place. Concentrate. Look at what you're good at or what you'd like to be good at. As Julie just said, as I've said, and you said, we didn't start here. Weren't born and said, hey, I'm going to be live online. Wasn't born and said, oh, I'm going to be a pet psychic. No, I just talk to pets all the time. And I just didn't realize that was a job until I started doing it so often for friends and family.
Thank you for sharing that. And I know Julie shared something similar, like who knew that face reading was a thing?
Right,
and, who knew that I could be doing radio and TV when I was selling meetings and events for 20 some years? Who knew?
Exactly.
It just
but
comes
how
to
much
us.
Did you learn out of the pros and cons of doing meeting and events that have made the difference in the success of this one?
Yes. Well, to answer that directly, because I've been thinking a lot about this, before, when I was in my corporate role, I have a master's in finance and I have a doctorate, and I never used either one of them really. Nobody would call me Dr. Kerbeck. I was actually told by my employee, coworkers that no, we're not calling you that. And I was also a makeup artist on the side. I had an insurance license, real estate. I did a lot of things on the side. Right. And except for the real estate, because I'm not doing anything with that, everything that I learned, I'm actually using as a business owner. It's absolutely incredible.
Absolutely. I did real estate for years. And the only reason I got into it was because we wanted to buy a house. And I was an at-home mom, and I have that ability, sales and all that type of gifts. And my husband said, hey, could you save us some money? Could you just go get a license, please? I'm like, sure, why not? I just added to something else I'm doing. And I loved it. And I learned so much, and I helped so many people get the right homes. And I worked with people that were displaced and indigent and living on welfare and managing rentals. And, I hope I touched their lives positively, because I could also help with the pets that they were having trouble with, or the landlords that wanted to kick them out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And hopefully it moved my family forward also, because they were paying me the commission and not, pay back that license fee my husband paid for. So it does work. You don't have to be in something forever. I think we grew up in a time where you have that career. My parents had a career, and that was your lifespan. But you and I are very different birds. We wanted a few things to try, but we're better. Each one of them has made us better, and we're able to disseminate more information because we can not only empathize, but sympathize with people going through, people who are dealing with housing issues. Yeah, I dealt with some pretty rank rentals when I was managing rentals. That was hard work. That was really hard work. Where the kids are destructing the room and the walls, and there's a divorce going on. Oh my gosh, I had a really tough case with one of those. Lots of jail time was talked about, but the kids were angry. and I had to walk the mom through that and how to get less holes in her walls. So, because that's how her kids, she had giant boys and they took it out on the house, luckily, instead of on a person. But that was where I was able to help. I'll take it.
Well, good for you. You've helped a lot of people, and please continue doing it.
I hope so.
How would you like people to reach out to you, Amina, and who should contact you?
If you have any questions about a current pet or a past pet, I do have the gift to talk to people who have passed and animals that have passed. Training tips, any of that, you're just really at your wit's end, or you're just adopting. Any of those places, I hope I can help you. There's lots of professionals out there, and I'm one of them, and I'd love to give it a try. Please look up our videos. Please look me up on any of the social medias as far as Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. And there's lots of free help that you can get. But I am at bridgingworlds.us. Again, that's bridgingworlds.us. And there's tons of free stuff on there and links to the things I've just mentioned, to the Facebook and these videos that I've been doing with Dr. JACALYN, so that you can learn for free and hopefully put those into your life.
Thank you very much, Amina. It's been a pleasure as always, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend.
Absolutely. I'll see you Friday.
See you Friday. Bye for now.
Take care.
You too. Thank you. Well, this is the end of our broadcasting for this week. We start out on Mondays and we broadcast through the week till Friday. And guess what? We are planning our schedule for 2023. Ooh, I can't believe it's coming up already. If you would like to join us, if you would like to be a co-host, if you'd like to have your own show, there are many opportunities for you. So I'm just going to go through some of them very quickly right now. As you know, on Fridays, I'd like to just give you some announcements. First of all, we have a new loyalty program. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I will be rolling this out sometime in September. This is for our team members and also for our guests. So you will be able to earn points for doing certain things, and then you can redeem the points for fabulous prizes. So more to come on that. Our reunion show is coming up September 18th. This is not an interview. This is where you have 15 minutes to promote yourself, your business, your work, whatever it is. And Pet Psychic Amina will be there as well. So you can go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com, and you can book your session, your 15 minutes of fame promoting whatever it is you would like to promote. If you're thinking you might want to be a co-host, but you don't want to sign a contract and you just want to do one show and see how you like it, you can sign up for that. You can go over to our website and you can get more information there. We now have the ability to sing your message to our audience. So, for example, if you would like us to sing happy birthday, happy anniversary, congratulations, I love you, I want to marry you, I don't want to be with you anymore, please move out. No, I'm kidding on the last one. But we can custom a message for whomever it is. We also have the ability to take it a step further. We have a partnership, people in-house now, where we can create your own personal customized song. So, for example, I just finished recording my verses and my chorus and my bridge for my new single that's coming out with Madeline Chan. It's called What Was I Thinking Back Then? And there will be a video and, of course, the audio portion, and it will all be put together in a beautiful package. It will be available for people to download, the audio section, of course. And then for the video portion, I'll be able to use that any way that I like. So if you always wanted to have a song written about you, if you want to write the song yourself and have us perform it, if you want us to write it and you perform it, there's so many options. Just reach out. Go to where? usaglobaltv.com. You can also find it over on drjacalyn.com. And then finally, this is open to everyone, including Amina. I hope she'll book in for this. This is a new show called Rapping with Dr. JACALYN. It's a show about nothing. What does that mean? What it means is you and I will be in a virtual living room and we will get to know each other. So there's no agenda. there's no topic. We just had our first show this week with Madeline Chan, and it was great. The conversation was all over the place. So if you think about here in the States, the late night shows that are on, you've got a host and then you've got a guest, and they just talk about whatever it is they want to talk about. So go over to the website, usaglobaltv.com. And there are all the announcements I have for now. It's getting very hot in the studio and I'm starting to melt. So I will say goodbye for now. And if you are on our YouTube channel, please do subscribe. That channel is USA Global TV. Just hit subscribe and then click the bell, and then you'll be informed whenever we go live if you're interested in watching any of our shows. As Amina mentioned, we have all different topics, and I really feel there's something for everyone. So go over to the playlist for the shows that resonate with you and go ahead and watch them. You can find this show tonight. It'll be over on the playlist presenting Pet Psychic Amina. All right. Thank you again. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Amina. Thank you to each and every one of you. Bye for now.